LAPD's group stalking by helicopter right now. This is impossible light activity that has grown to be on my wall. And this is it as you saw it underneath my bed moments ago. Okay, and they're amplifying and creating sensational activity of a helicopter while they're flying over my apartment. So I just want you to, I want to document that on video. And there they are right there. And I want you to pay attention to the distance. First of all, this is the demon-possessed workforce that are the LAPD. They are surrounded by the evidence, and it's also evidence against all of the people of the state. You're looking at the engineered light that's covering all of the hillside. The duration of time analysis, which is the evidence of a sunrise, which I've documented as early as 6:39, 6:40 in the morning, is the evidence of their demon possession and their criminal engagement and what are the criminal elements of monitoring for purposes of massive surveillance in concert with the people of the state, all of whom are surrounding in relevant position. All of them surrounding relevant position covered in the evidence of what is engineered light. Engineered light is present for the criminal purpose of monitoring and that is group stalking with the corrupt government that you see flying over me in helicopter. What I want you to pay attention to is while that audible activity is heard inside of my apartment and that distance of that helicopter, okay? It only took me a couple seconds. I said not even a full sentence. I walked to my living room and you're looking at the great distance, okay? The entity is engaged in what is amplification. That's the point of that. Amplification is speaking to the presence of all elements of monitoring. The engineered light, which is exactly what this is, that you see light reaching underneath my mattress, where you see the light source outside of my bedroom window, and this is the same window in the morning where I'm showing you a sunrise like you saw on May 6, 2024, because the entity's been engaged in what is the psychotic engagement, the same stalking, all right, by a demon-possessed agency and a demon-possessed population together that are also monitoring documentation. So they're engaged in the same psychotic stalking, the same psychotic group stalking under what is a covered-up light source, where the same exact criminal elements of monitoring always remain because the demons are maintaining the environment. They're also engaged in the same exact group stalking and federal stalking. All right, so I want you to pay attention to that distance that you just saw, but the entity is sounding helicopter activity in the depths of my apartment. Okay, that distance of that helicopter is not something that I would be able to hear, in other words, inside of my apartment while they are at that great distance, okay? And I also want to let you know the entity is engaging in what is very psychotic, showing what is a dangerous mindset as a sex offender, engaging and monitoring in the private space, the capability to engage in sexually violating another, sexually violating minor children while seeking to maliciously maintain an outward appearance as though that is not the case, which is very damaging, very psychologically damaging to, for example, one that would be subject to that sexual violence, that would be subject to that abuse. This is something that people target children with, okay? Sexually violating them and then exhibiting and conducting themselves, even imputing what is guilt upon those minor children, which is a damage to their mind frame, and it causes confusion. I just want to be clear, all the ways that you are witnessing the demented mind state of the demon-possessed workforce that are the LAPD, that are directly engaged in group stalking, and that criminal presence of the helicopter is the mark of demon possession. It's the hallmark of what is the system of group stalking and monitoring. They're also engaged in federal stalking in violation of Title 18, 22618, subsections 1 and 2. Again, you're witnessing the evidence of targeting, not only because you see the light source, it's not possibly the sun. This is the same address where you're looking at the sunrise in the morning. All right. And the entity is also engaging in this is engineer light. They're all going to be prosecuted as you see the entity engaged in group stalking directly in this video. Every single last person, I don't have to know their address. This third party whose venue I'm looking at in relevant position, I'm going to prosecute them. Every adult for federal group stalking and monitoring and federal stalking in concert with the corrupt government that is providing a wealth of documentation against them. While I've been documenting this for a prolonged period, they are threatening my life. They are present on behalf of the corrupt government. That's why you have their property covered in engineered light. It's not sunlight. That's why they're living in a specific environment that is purposely maintained for that reason, to engage in this system that is committed by a population. It's committed by the community. Okay, by virtue of that is again the constitutional basis for prosecution for the people of the state, and that's exactly what that third party in that blue house represents. Okay, you're not present on any private, you're not exercising any right of privacy. You're in the specific environment. That's why the specific environment is there. And how do you establish that? By juxtaposing it with the specific environment that is speaking to the ongoing maintenance of that system before I moved here. And it is showing the ongoing criminal engagement of that same exact system, which is revealing what is public corruption. And it shall result in what is a massive federal prosecution of that entire community. And this is speaking to, again, the evidence against that community where they are living in relevant position. This is group stalking. This is public corruption as a way of life that's going on in the state of California. And also, I want to let you know, while you're looking at the engineer light that's covering all of a community, this is revealing what is the condition of those in that community. This is a demon-possessed community, and they are violent sex offenders that are maliciously engaging in a criminal system in concert with that corrupt law enforcement agency. They are not ignorantly or innocently or unknowingly present in engineer light while the entity is stalking in helicopter. This is how that system looks, and that's exactly how it works. So I want to make sure that you understand that it's 6:41 p.m. And so what we're going to juxtapose that with is what the entity was doing on this same